Just a couple Teslas hanging out in the garage, fully charged, doing their thing. Let's get to it. Welcome back to the Tesla again. Good afternoon. So I decided to split up the videos. We got Katie's Cars and Coffee. Those don't always get a ton of views because not everybody appreciates cars quite the same way I do. So we're going to split it up. We're going to do the quirk/feature video in this one. Maybe combine it because I'm going to Flemings Ultimate Garage to check out some sweet cars there, see what they have in stock, and then film some cool Tesla stuff. So it's been a car-filled day. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, let's get out of this garage first and foremost. But to start off, so I started off my Katie's Cars and Coffee video, which you guys may or may not have watched, this classic car spotting, checking out some cool cars at Katie's this morning. But obviously when I'm in my garage, we have no connectivity. Up here, no connectivity. So this is quite the conundrum because, well, you need connectivity for nav, for Slacker radio music. That's really it. I believe the map will actually still move with me while I'm driving, not 100% on that. Anyways, let's get out of the garage. Let's see how long it takes. But the first quirk is, it takes a little while sometimes for that 3G connectivity to reconnect, which can be frustrating and kind of annoying. But either way, it's not too much of a problem for me. I don't really have any concerns over it. I also park in an underground garage, so it's kind of expected that you would lose signal and then it has to re-find signal. It's just weird that sometimes it takes a little while. So, as you can see, still disconnected. I guess we'll see how many miles we go and how long it takes, but it's 12:59 right now. I'd say typically within like 1 to 2 minutes the signal comes back. It really depends. Some days it's like almost immediate. Some days I can drive like 2-3 miles before it pops back on. It's really hit or miss. All right, half a mile. It's 101. We're still dealing with no connectivity. No connectivity up here either. Just sitting here in silence because, well, this is the music button, but there's no connectivity, so you can't play it. I think the radio would work, but Slacker radio doesn't. Obviously, it's streamed music, so yeah. All right, 104. Still no connectivity, so just hanging out and waiting in silence. See, the maps still appear to be working. I mean, that's good, right? The maps are still moving along while I drive, but still no connectivity. 3.7 miles, 109. I'm not sure when it came back on, but guys, we got 3G connectivity. We're golden. So I think that's actually the longest it's ever taken. That took like 10 minutes almost. So I could really show you that quirk. Definitely not a feature, definitely a quirk. No, catching on fire is not a quirk of the Tesla Model S. 2 fire trucks just happened to be driving by, unrelated to my Tesla whatsoever, and I'm assuming unrelated to Tesla in general. So the next kind of cool feature/quirk is that you can open the sunroof to any, well, not any percentage, but any 5%, like 45, 50, 55, 60, all the way up to 100, which is pretty neat. Now, you used to actually be able to go into the settings on the screen and choose literally any percentage, like 43% open or 62% open, and drag it there on this like sliding bar, but that actually went away. But you can still use the scroll wheel on your steering wheel to open it to any like percentage divisible by 5, I guess, and 12 for venting, which is kind of interesting. If you go up 1 notch, it's 12 to vent it, and then it pops up to 20 from there, which is interesting. So yeah, there's that. All right, guys, this is Flemings Ultimate Garage. We're gonna go see what they have here. All right, we are just gonna pop in here. It doesn't look too crowded, so yeah, maybe we'll street park it. A nice CTSV wagon here, but Flemings Ultimate Garage, you can see there's like a green Jeep right in the grass. Hey, let's get over to it. Let's go check it out. This thing looks really fun. Bright green Jeep, open top, and a manual don't see these too often at all. This wild thing. This thing would probably be a blast. Super cool cars. That Noble is so clean and looks incredible. I bet that would be a blast to drive. Unfortunately, I'm not in the position to be buying a Noble and driving it around. Maybe one day, guys. One day we'll get that Noble. First, manual Lamborghini Gallardo. I think that's what we're going with first. That's just such a fun car, and it's a Lamborghini, you know? Nobody knows what a Noble is, but I guess you'd still turn heads in that thing. It's pretty wild, but super cool stuff there, Tony. I wish he had like some sort of like car club rental program, so you could just like pay a certain amount every month and like take the cars out just for like the weekend and have fun with them and not have to own them. But one day, maybe one day, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, Noble, Lamborghini Gallardo, Spider, and that Maserati Gran Turismo's there. That green Jeep actually looks like a ton of fun. I wonder how much it is. They didn't have a price tag on that one. But yeah, wow. And that Aston Martin DB9, not too shabby. It sounds pretty good. Not spec'd quite the way I would want it spec'd, and it's not a manual, so. Anyways, back to the rest of the video. Someone had fun here. Look at those burnout marks. So another feature slash quirk is the regen braking. I'm not even touching the brake pedal right now, but yeah, this car will pretty much come to a dead stop. So it won't fully stop the vehicle, but
red light camera reported ahead.
Thanks, Waze. You can come up to a light and get all the way down to like under 10 miles an hour without even touching the brake pedal, which is just an interesting feature of the car because of the regen braking, obviously, with the electric cars. But the first time you get into it and getting used to like when to let off the accelerator and like when not to use the brakes, it takes a little getting used to, but once you get used to it, it's actually quite nice. I think the other nice thing about regen is less wear and tear on your brakes, and what actually helps you brake faster, if you think about it, as soon as you let off the accelerator, the regen is slowing your car down slightly, so you know your braking time is improved by that much. Also, a little quirk to note is that, thanks Waze, a little quirk to note is that if you watch the car, if I let off the gas enough and regen kicks in, you'll see the brake lights appear, so you know when you're slowing down enough that Tesla deems your brake lights should be on, even though you're not applying your brakes, because regen is slowing your car down so significantly, the brake lights turn on. So that was pretty cool. I remember test driving this car for the first time, and well, I let off the gas and he turned regen on, and it was slowing down so much, and I was like, do the cars behind me know that I'm essentially braking? And he was like, yeah, look at your little Tesla icon in the center of your speedometer, and you'll see that the brake lights are lighting up. And I was like, you guys thought of everything. Fun fact, this street right here going the other direction may or may not be the first place where I tried a P100D with the insane ludicrous mode, whatever it is called, acceleration right here. Wow, I mean, your stomach drops when you floor it on one of those cars. So yeah, I test drove a Tesla obviously before buying this Tesla, and I was sold. I mean, this car doesn't even have that crazy acceleration, but it definitely throws you back and moves. But this was the road, guys. This was the road where it all happened. I was sold. All right, so another interesting quirk about the Tesla is that although it is a fixed gear and you can go up to 150 miles an hour, it is electronically limited on the speedo at the top. The interesting thing is it's also electronically limited to a 1.5 in reverse. So 150, but a tenth of that going in reverse. So if I go in reverse right now, let's see if we can get up to 15 miles an hour. Woo! As we hit 16 miles an hour, I'm not saying that I broke my Tesla, but I guess it can go 16 miles an hour. I think that's because I had momentum. So if you floor it in reverse, fun fact, you can go over 15 miles an hour in reverse, but it is limited to 15 miles an hour. So at least I believe that's like the hard encoded number. But as you can see, it is possible to go faster, and I think that's basically just like if you were going down a hill and you had more momentum, you could obviously go faster. You could probably also do over 150. It's just that the car will stop giving it power, I guess, after like 15 miles an hour or after 150 miles an hour, depending if you're going in reverse. Either way, 15 miles an hour in reverse, quirk, and the more you know, just about the Tesla Model S. Uh-oh, we got a copper right up there. No wheel spin, let's keep it under 35. All right, if we keep him in front of us, he can't pull us over, right? Guys, we messed up. The cop's behind us now. We're gonna go ahead and make a right-hand turn here. Just, you know, get off the road for a little bit. All right, so here we are in commercial building parking lot. Just on a nice quiet place. Anyways, another feature, another feature. So you obviously have these driver profile modes. So you can set like Kyle, and then if someone were to go down here and you move the seat, you can see that I can either save this to be my new current driver profile, or if I want to, I can tap restore, and my seat, we're moving automatic. Very nice to have that. You can have multiple driver profiles, but I think the coolest thing that I actually didn't even know when I got this car is that you can turn on valet mode. And well, same thing, if you go to your driver profile, there's a valet mode right here, and you can tap on that. Asks you to enter your PIN. Then obviously once your PIN is in, you can just go ahead and tap allow. And now we're in valet mode. Now what this does is on top here, you can also see, I've talked about this in the past, but you have valet at the top. You can see speed is limited. It only shows 60, but that's because it goes in increments of 20. I think it's limited to 70 or 80 miles an hour. And you're limited to a max of 80 kilowatts of energy. You can't do those crazy loss of traction, peel out, burnout, whatever you want to call it. You can't do that when you're in valet mode. So it gives me peace of mind that other people aren't, you know, having as much fun in my car, and I can still have more fun than they can because they're in valet mode. Also, one of the coolest things is if you have, you know, your phone or the GoPro, for example, and anything else that's valuable, this normally opens the glove compartment. So now with valet mode on, that does nothing. So you can lock that without needing like a key or a lock or anything on the glove box at all. It's nice and seamless. You don't even notice the glove box, but this is locked when you're in valet mode. It's a pretty nice feature. I really like valet mode. I do use it quite often. Some people will let their kids drive their car, and what they'll do is they'll just put it in valet mode. That way their kid is limited to 80 miles an hour, 80 kilowatts of power. You know that they can't speed too much and they can't do crazy accelerations, especially if you have one of those P100D with ludicrous mode. You may not trust your kid doing 0 to 60 in like 2.3 seconds. On to the next feature. Let's go ahead and pop the trunk open. So obviously, as you guys have seen here before, we have the rear-facing child seats with a 5-point harness. Yeah, I know, it's pretty crazy, right? You have this little, okay, not little sedan, but we can seat 7 here. Granted, these two kind of have to be kids, but this is a nice feature. I don't know if this is an option anymore, but it was, and well, my car has it. So I can seat 7 in my car. Granted, you need 2 short or small people, but look at all this trunk space. I mean, basically, if you don't have these in the car, though, you get all of this extra cargo space down here. I mean, this is like huge. It's like a full forearm. It's like a foot deep. I mean, it's just a ginormous trunk space. So I was going to walk you up here and show you the frunk at the same time. But another interesting thing, when the car's in valet mode, the frunk is locked. So not only do you get the glove box storage compartment, you can put everything in the frunk, put it in valet mode, and there's I actually didn't know that once. I was trying to open the frunk and I just kind of looked like a fool because, well, I couldn't open the frunk. Let's step into the rear seat here, guys. So in the rear seat of this car, there's no rear cup holders anywhere. There's no like thing that folds out here. There's nothing on the side sills, nothing on the doors. You can see there's 0 cup holders in the rear seat. The only cup holders are up here for the front 2 drivers. There's 2 cup holders under here, and yes, these slide, which is kind of nice. You can just cover that up if you don't want it. You get this nice carbon fiber. Anyways, yeah, these 2 cup holders, and then there's 2 cup holder like adjustable things down in that well area, but really just for the front. In the back seat, your kids, I mean, you got plenty of leg room. Like, I'm like slouched down back here. There's plenty of leg room. The headroom is iffy if you don't have the glass sunroof, but it's not bad. But plenty of leg room and no cup holders. No cup holders. So you get cup holders up front, and you do actually get cup holders on the rear-facing child seats. Yes. So interestingly enough, there is actually a cup holder and a little storage compartment in these rear-facing jump seats, but not in the rear normal seats. Very interesting, but just an interesting quirk. Nothing really new, but obviously you can close the trunk from here. You can close the trunk by double-clicking the back part of the key, and then you can also close it from the giant touchscreen. Another interesting quirk is this car doesn't actually come with, like, most cars you open up the glove box and you have your like car manual in there. Not with this car. With this car, you open up the little car icon and there's a manual. If you tap that, well, you actually get the owner's manual, mobile connector, declarations of conformity, like these things. If you go to the owner's manual, you have your list of things. I feel like it's much easier to find things here than in the book. You got to flip around, you got the index, all that stuff. Here it is nice. Like, you have it kind of broken out, and yeah, you just like using the touchscreen, charging, overview, interior, exterior touchscreen. Yep, completely blank owner's manual. Someone deleted my owner's manual. So yeah, I guess that's an interesting quirk as well. Another interesting quirk on this car. So I did a video actually of like some of like the 5 best features, something along those lines, and I started off the video saying that obviously the best feature is the steering wheel, and it is true. So the interesting and cool thing about this is that most of the interior options that you need to control, you can do right from the steering wheel. You can change the apps that display up here. You can change your music. You can hold and press longer in order to change. So if you have like different like radio settings in Slacker radio, if you hold this down for a longer press, you can skip to the next station. Obviously adjust volume control. Over here, this scroll wheel basically just adjusts whatever you choose. It's whatever you choose based on this menu. So if you touch that button, and then in here you can choose like sunroof, display brightness, fan speed, temperature. So if you go to display brightness, and now I scroll my scroll wheel, I can change the display brightness. Very cool feature. So the other cool thing is that you have auto like lock on your car. So because of this new pin to drive feature, you have to enter a pin before you can actually drive your car unless you're in valet mode. Just a nice added layer of security, and Tesla can obviously just keep pushing new software updates. So this was actually a software update. When I first got my car, I just hopped in, put my foot on the brake, and the car was on, which is also very cool in and of itself. But now I put in my little 4-digit pin as if I'm unlocking an iPhone, and then I can drive my car. That way, anybody can't just hop into my car and drive off. They obviously have to use pin to drive and have a key, or I have to unlock it from my phone. Speaking of that, another interesting feature of having a Tesla. So on my phone, I have the Tesla app, and well, you'll see this load up here. Okay, yep. Oh, all right, yep. Okay, cool. Yep. There we go. Okay, so we got 205 miles of range. As you can see, 205 miles of range up there. It is currently parked. So if I here and right up here, I put my car into drive. You can now see that it says driving. If I start moving, it tells you exactly how fast the car is moving. Very, very neat. Back in park, and Nessa's parked. Also, you can control everything. So you can unlock, you can lock your car. I now locked it. I can hit this little key button, and it will enable keyless driving, which means that you have 2 minutes to get in the car and start driving. So for example, if I'm on the other side of the country and I wanted somebody to move my car, they wouldn't even need my key. I could go in my app, put in my password, hit start, and it will unlock my car. They could get in and put it in drive and drive off. So that is actually kind of neat. Also, if you forgot your key but had your phone, as long as you have service, you can unlock your car. Other stuff, you can control your AC. So if I tap this, my AC is now on down here. If I tap it again, it's just turned off. And now this is actually something new, media. You can go into media and you can preset what's going to be playing with the volume and all that stuff. Hit play, pauses it, and then controls. So this is how you can vent the roof, unlock the car, flash the lights, honk the horn, start the car, open the front, open the trunk. Down here you can put it in valet mode. You can limit the speed limit actually to whatever you want it to. So you actually don't have to use valet mode anymore. You could just limit the speed limit for your kids to like 65 miles an hour, and then you know that they can't go over 65. So it is kind of neat that they have this stuff and they can just push all of this through new software updates to the iPhone app, to the car, etc. Charging, which obviously you can have your charging screen. It tells you nearby superchargers, how many stalls are available. So that's actually very helpful. It used to not actually have these nearby superchargers. This is something they've added. Location, so you can see exactly where your car is, and as it's driving, you'll see your car moving as well. And then you can schedule service directly from the Tesla app now. So these are all very cool features that Teslas can have. So yeah, that's the main gist of it, but very cool stuff that you can do just right from your phone. Real quick, another cool feature of this car is the unlimited free supercharging. Because I have an older car, when I bought it, I'm grandfathered into unlimited free supercharging, and I have free Slacker radio, so I don't have to pay for Slacker radio. But it is very nice to have. It's like free XM, or I don't know what else you would compare it to. Free Spotify, but maybe not quite as many artists and stuff on there, but very cool stuff. And quite convenient, quite nice. The last quirk about this car is just that, well, if you put it into drive, you need new tires quite often because the wheels spin. Oof! You have not unlimited, you have full torque at 0 RPM, meaning you don't even have to be moving, and if you mash that accelerator pedal all the way down, you have access to full torque. So if you listen closely, yeah, those are my tires. You go through tires quickly on this car. It's fun. It's extremely fun. Part of the reason why I bought this car. Rear wheel drive, turn traction control off. Yeah, you're slipping and sliding, you're fishtailing. Woo! Yeah, it's a good time. It's a very good time. So yeah, you also need new tires a lot more often. So upsides, downsides, you know how it is. I mean, guys, tell me that i3 isn't just the ugliest car you've ever seen. Okay, besides a Prius. Actually, a Prius might look better. Another nice feature of this car, as you guys have seen in the past, is my Tesla's equipped with air suspension. So I can come in here and change the ride height. So for example, if I'm going up a steep driveway or off-roading, anything like that, I can come in here and say, okay, I want my ride height to be very high. And now it's auto location set. So anytime I'm in this spot on the road, under a certain mile per hour for very high ride height, it will automatically lift up my car. Now if I just wanted to lift it this one time, I can come back in here and just hit this X. My car will still stay at a very high ride height, but it won't automatically do this every time I ride this road. So that is a very cool feature that Tesla has given us. But yeah, there's that. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I think that's going to conclude the quirks and features video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's 78 degrees. I definitely underestimated how nice it is outside. I need to get out of these long pants, put some shorts on, and I think we're going to go for a run and enjoy the weather. So thanks for watching, guys.